Welcome to Wind Down Podcast. I'm Mai,
I'm Ross the Boss.
and we are discussing corporate 9 to 5 jobs versus entrepreneurship on today's episode. Woo woo!
Let's take a sip first. Grab your glasses. Grab your wine.
Look, I didn't even wait for y'all to grab yours,
your
and then we could sip together. Well, on last week's episode, we were discussing Trump's executive orders.
True.
So the one about the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Him removing that, and then corporations follow suit and start removing their DEI programs as well. Federal government, Target, Walmart, the Meta, like Instagram, Facebook stuff, world. So with that, we're going to transition into how that affects small Black businesses. We're going to be honest, we're not focused on the other races because we're Black. So we're going to focus on the Black businesses.
Talk about us.
Right.
And they're not like us.
Right. So we're going to businesses that this will affect, especially like the Target program, because with their program, they actually take on a company, help them get their product shelf ready, and then put it on the shelves to be marketed to the masses.
And we're going to talk about that's just period, like the difference from being an entrepreneur and a 9 to 5.
And there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 because everybody is not meant to have their own business and be an entrepreneur. Everybody doesn't want to do that.
And everybody don't want to, and not everybody is meant for being an entrepreneur or a 9 to 5. So everybody's different, but we're just going to talk a little about the pros and the cons and what this DEI may mean for those 9 to 5ers and entrepreneurs.
And entrepreneurs too, very true.
So let me start by the cons. Feel like you're maybe on somebody else's time. Obviously, you're making the CEO rich. That's not your business.
You're on a hamster wheel.
You're on a hamster wheel. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Your own dreams and aspirations kind of die down because you give this company
so much time.
Your time, and you give them your time for like. There's only 24 hours in a day. You give them the majority, it's not majority, but 8 to 12 hours is a lot because by the time you get done with that, when you got to get home, it's like whether you have kids or not, like you're drained from that.
Yeah, and or you now have maybe some people make time for it, but maybe no social life, or you and your partner is just pretty much come home, chill. That's not quality time. Reality, that's not quality time. Or with your kids, you still have to, then it's called second shifts. You still have to be a mom, do help with homework, any kind of chores or something. So, it's a big time factor.
It is.
You have a set schedule. You, which could be a pro and a con. A few cons, you can be terminated. They're willing to replace you like that.
Oh, they will. You're definitely replaceable.
You're replaceable.
Everybody is replaceable.
You have coworkers and managers, which could be pro and con, especially coworkers, your social and things. But then you may have a micro manager. That micromanager.
Which I know I can't. I don't like being micromanaged.
Unless your ass needs to be micromanaged because you just ain't getting it right.
Right.
Get the hell up off my back.
But no, I feel like they micromanage the ones that get it right for some reason.
Right too.
And the ones that need to be micromanaged, they just let them go free. And it's just like,
and they come asking your ass.
Yeah,
I'm not your trainer.
Ain't that the one? I know when I'm on my petty, when I used to be on my petty shit, I would be like, I don't know how to do it. Knowing damn well I did, but I don't you go ask the manager. I figured it out. You go figure it out. Don't ask me nothing.
Because that motherfucker didn't tell me either. So, no.
Wow. Yes.
Another thing is that, like, you are guaranteed a paycheck, right? You work your 8 hours or OT.
That is a reason why a lot of people don't want to be entrepreneurs too, because your pay is not guaranteed. It's up and down. Right. Like you said, unless you're already established. But like in entrepreneurship, when you're first starting out, your money, and then in the beginning, you might not even make no money. Versus when you're
for the year.
Right. Versus when you're an employee working 9 to 5, your paycheck is guaranteed. You're going to get that paycheck every 2 weeks or twice a month. once a month,
maybe 60 or 90 days later, benefits. You're not going to get that.
That's I'm like, yep, you definitely get benefits for that.
Life insurance. You're going to pay for your own medical, and you're going to pay for your own dental and all that. Versus at the job, 9 to 5, they're going to offer that some.
Yep.
But
well, if you're full time, you guaranteed benefits. If you're part time, I mean, no, you're not going to get them. But I'm just saying,
if you work somewhere full time, they don't even offer benefits. You at the wrong job.
You at the wrong job, and you need to consult an attorney because they cannot do that to you.
You're working for me. You also can experience discrimination, but that can be with both entrepreneurship and 9 to 5.
Right.
So I think that some 9 to 5ers, though, you have maybe a union or you have some things that you won't have as an entrepreneur.
Right. Or you can have a horrible manager.
Yes.
And they just are horrible to you. You want to get away from them and you can't escape them basically. And it just makes your work life so much worse.
And sometimes your home life, because you're bringing home some of that stress and can make it much worse as well.
That is one thing that I used to, I regret it, like to bring that shit home with you.
Don't bring it home. Mm-mm. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all are experiencing that kind of thing, just know that after your 8 hours, you leave that shit where it said that's a Monday problem. When it's Friday, you clock the hell out and go about your business. That's a Monday problem.
Because at the end of the day, if you passed away over the weekend, they would have you replaced by Monday, maybe Tuesday, if they didn't know.
Because at the end of the day gonna end. Okay.
And while you may not be replaceable, you're replaceable. Like your work ethic and stuff may not be replaceable. You as a person are replaceable.
They gonna train you the same way. Right. Train them the same way they trained you.
And they gonna get another body in there to do exactly what you was doing, so maybe
don't bring
more.
That shit home to your spouse or your kids and all that. Because guess what? No, that ain't their fault.
It sure is
not. Manager and find you a job, I guess, but don't bring that shit home. Also, like capped salaries. You're uncapped when it comes to entrepreneurship. You are not capped. Like the sky's the limit, but at the
job, for the most part, you get a cap. Yeah, unless you have like commission in there somewhere. Right. But if you're like even like the LA County, when you're working up the ranks, your job it has a cap on what your item is and stuff, and how much money you're able to make.
Fill out an application for another position to hire. Blah, blah, blah. It ain't like you working your way and doing your due diligence, and so now they want to offer you a promotion. A lot of that's not seen no more. You still have to take a test or apply for that position internally. Absolutely. It's not like, oh, I see that they did so great and just promote you.
Right.
The job be haters too. Okay.
The job be your biggest hater, and especially if you're really good. They don't want you to know how good you are because they don't want you to leave and see your own worth. That's what I noticed about jobs. They never want you to see your own worth because then you would invest in yourself and pour into yourself and get ready to get the fuck up out of there. You know what I mean? Creating shit.
And don't know more than the manager. They gonna be hating. Like,
what is that? The 48 Laws of Power?
Are they gonna be having you train and do all that for free?
Don't outshine. I was gonna say don't outshine the master. It's not your master, but don't outshine your manager. Because some of these managers' egos be like,
"Bitch, trying to come from my job." No, bitch. There's many other positions. I don't want yours.
I remember when I was fresh out of college and I had this job. The lady wasn't my manager. She was in my department though, and sometimes she would have to be the one to give me my work, but I made more than her, and she found out because she was looking at things, and she was so mad. But I made more than her because at that time, I had just graduated college. I had gotten 2 BAs. I had 2 college degrees. I think she had her GED. She was a lot older than me, but it's like, well, you got to go back to get. I am getting paid. You're telling me what to do, but I'm getting paid more than you because I'm fresh out of college. I got the paperwork basically. I can't say that that's how it goes in today's society.
No, it does.
Because that was 2006.
Like, you can literally know what the hell you're doing and you can know the job. But if you don't have that paper, that degree, they won't pay you what you worth. And even with it, sometimes they don't.
No, they don't.
I will say that, you can know the job and a new person come in with a master's or a bachelor's, whatever, and you've been there, but because you just may have like a high school diploma, AA or something, they're not going to pay you that.
That's what happened. And she tried to make my life a living hell because so me being me, I think I was 23, 24 at the time. She wasn't my manager, but she was in the department. And so I was just letting her know everything. And she the one that told me to teach. She was like, she found out you made more than her. That's why she switched up. She was like, I didn't know it would come to that. So she had to be my advocate and had to step in because she was like, why is it her fault that she went and got her degree and you didn't? I'm like, again, fresh out of college. This is my first big girl job.
Right.
And she was trying to make my life a living fucking hell.
And that's a good thing to bring up too, because I feel like if I know what I'm doing, it's about selling yourself at an interview. You could get a position that said they want a BA or math where they ain't really checking for it.
Right.
It's how you sell yourself and know what you're talking about or
right.
act like you know what you're talking about
right.
in order to get that position. Because college will put your ass, not that I'm against college, all the youngsters go to college. However, it will put your ass sometimes in a spiral because now you own all these loans, you trying to figure out financial aid, blah blah blah. So it just depends. You know, a lot of people make it without it. A lot of people gotta have it.
And I'm gonna just say I was blessed. I'm putting my business out there, but I was blessed to not graduate college with any student loans. Yes. That doesn't always happen for people. But I was very blessed because my parents had the vision, particularly my mother, because when she had bought her property, a student loan that she had paid off, but she could not. This was different times, so your record keeping was different. It wasn't electronic.
Yeah.
She could not find the record of her paying that student loan off. She then opened escrow to purchase, and I'm in the mortgage business, so I'm like, oh my God, I already know how that went. Yeah. That student loan had to be paid off, and it had accumulated interest because it had been all these years. She could not find, and she was like, I paid it, I had the record, but from her going, moving and this and that, she couldn't find it. So basically, she had to pay that student loan off in escrow again. Oh my God. And thank God she had a good was he her realtor or he was her mortgage loan officer? I believe it was her realtor. He paid half of her student loan. He paid half of it out of his own pocket because he knew that commission was gonna hit when she closed. Right. But I'm just saying, he paid half of it. But I'm just saying that came up to haunt her. Yeah. So in her mindset of thinking that, she's like, if you ever want to buy property and stuff, I don't want you to have student loans on your credit report, which I totally appreciate, because them student loans add up, and it's not always worth it.
Get this degree and may not even find what you went to school for in that degree.
And as long as you in school, you don't have to pay them student loans back. But who cares? Because who wants to who wants to deal with all that shit? I just feel like, I think there was only one situation where I saw that it made sense. Like, the guy was a doctor, so he had all these student loans. Like, it was a lot, but what his salary was offered, it was more than what his student loans are together. Right. So it's like, he could pay those off. Okay, his salary, he actually, again, he was a doctor. So
yeah, if you're gonna get
in a specialty,
what you put in it, great. But a lot of motherfuckers walk away with just student loans and can't even find a job because now they have no experience and all this stuff. So,
well, he had a career in his, so his made perfect sense.
But again, teach his own. I'm not saying college is the way or not the way. Whatever works for you and that. But I will say that as far as 9 to 5, especially today with the whole DEI shit, right? Entrepreneurship might be the way to go. And it takes money to make money in most 95% of cases. So
work part-time and start a business.
That's as you're on your free time, instead of going to happy hour, go to the club, pour into your entrepreneurship.
Or if you at happy hour, you should bring your camera and whatever setup and create content at your happy hour.
If that's the entrepreneurship,
if that's the entrepreneur you're doing,
yeah. But if it's something else, like, just pour that extra time into it. Like, no matter what, you got some kind of extra time. You ain't working for these employers 24 hours in your day. So you just have to take that time. Just like everybody got to take time for certain things. the gym or for your kids or for whatever, you gotta take that a little bit. I don't give a fuck if it's an hour a day to make your dream, make your dream.
I agree with that for sure.
Okay, so I'm back on entrepreneurship now. I feel like a con for entrepreneur, you could be sued.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your own boss,
you set your own schedule, but it's your business, so it begins and ends with you.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. Like, even if you don't have a set schedule, it's like, well, you can't roll out of bed at 2 p.m. and then you gonna make some moves happen for your business. Like,
get your ass up, early bird gets the worm still. And yeah, make it happen. You don't get no days off as an entrepreneur.
No, you don't.
Until you get to that point where you made it happen.
Where the money is you're making money in your sleep.
And you got people working for you that know how to
But when you starting off, it's not. You pulling your sleeves up and you all in. Like, that's when it's really team no sleep. Like, because we both have tapped into the entrepreneur world and the 9-to-5 corporate jobs. Like, we've both had corporate jobs and stuff too. I know with the entrepreneur thing, like, I do think I had the ability to take it to the next level. However, it was a lot. I didn't have any kids. I was single woman, but it would be draining. I was doing like the party planning thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that would kind of, I don't know. I think I could have took it to the next level. I just don't think I had the mentality at that time to take it to the next level. Yeah. Because I still, even no kids and all, I still wanted a guaranteed fucking paycheck. Right. Like, I got bills that got to be paid. Right. Now, I don't care about taking risk. Yeah. Like, that doesn't bother me. But I had to, again, go through the thing of, no, I can't risk it because.
Right. And that's all about taking a risk. Entrepreneurship is risk.
Very risky. Risk.
Period. You could put all this money into it and it just never happens.
It never happens.
Or always think positive. Like, a lot of people have a cynical mind. Always think positive to where I could be the next fucking billionaire. The motherfucker I'm working for, I could be that.
Right.
So, I mean, it just, I don't know. It depends on your mindset, what you speak out into the universe.
I agree. Like, I love marketing. So I always felt like I'm going to quit when I was working my corporate job, I'm going to quit this corporate job and they're going to hire me to be their marketer. That's how I used to look at it too, because I'm like, yo, even when I try to come to them as an employee, be like, the marketing sucks. This is what we need to do. They used to be like, those are amazing ideas, but nobody would give me the go. Like, they wouldn't give me the green light to.
No, they giving it to the other motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I just gave you a whole concept and a whole idea. That's what I had to realize too. Like, stop sharing your ideas with people.
The game is to be sold,
not told. Because nigga was telling it all. Because the way I am, I'm like, I'm not a gatekeeper.
That's me. I was just gonna say that. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper. If I found out a way to make 10 million right now, I would tell all of y'all.
Me too. That's how I am too. So if I have an idea about somebody's business, or not even somebody, like just a business, and I know I'm not gonna make the moves to do it, I will tell somebody like-minded and give them everything to take it there. Do I feel like I need to get a piece of it? No, because I was going to just, an idea that's not right. An idea that has no action is just an idea. Right. So I'm like, I know I'm not going to put any action into this. Let me tell to somebody that will and make the shit do what it do.
That's me. I swear, I'm not a gate to this day. No. If I find a sale, a promotion, or this or that, a way to do it, I'm telling everybody.
Hell yeah.
As long as it ain't taking off of me.
Hell
and mine plates. I don't give a fuck what you know, how to do it. Now, I will say, like, there's steps to doing it, right? So if I figured out the steps and I tell you, don't keep them to me. I done already told you. I'm not going to pull your hand up. I done told you.
This nigga said, don't come back to me.
Today, people call it consulting.
Yes.
And they pay for that. So I get it. Your time is money too. If I'm giving you all the steps and now here this person comes, they want the steps. It's taking time away from me and what I need to be doing.
And that's how I always used to feel like, yes, Maisha, just think consultant. But the way I am, because my attention span, I don't be giving a fuck. I'm like, no, I'm gonna text you. This is what my idea is for you, and that's that. And again, like you said, don't come back to me because that's all That's how they do. But that's all I had to give you. Now, if you come back a second time, I am going to have to charge your ass. Because I done gave you all this shit for free. And I even gave you where you can find the information.
So my thing
I got to
is,
do that
now,
for
do you
myself.
feel like it's gatekeeping just because people charge the way they had to dig and struggle and figure it out?
You know
for
what it is?
themselves?
People aren't charging for that. You know, because you could find the information is out there.
It's out
You know
there.
what people
Just
are
how they
charging
found it.
for? People are charging because, like, just say you're standing in a line to get to the information.
Mhm.
They're making you pay to skip the line to get the information
True.
because they don't
True.
went through it. So they're like, this is what it is.
Even though you know how to get there.
You know how to get there.
Everybody,
but
a lot of people are scared to take a risk too. They know
yes,
how to get there.
They know how to get there. However, so skipping the line requires taking a risk.
Right.
These people have taken that risk, skipped the line. They done made it. Now they know how to do it, and they want to show you how to do it. Right. But you got to pay to play. And I wouldn't even
know if I call it like skip the line because some people work their fucking ass off like tears and sweat to get there. So then they feel like,
oh no, absolutely,
I'm not finna get a shit out for free when all I had to do to get there.
Right. No, but when I say skip the line, I mean the people that have like the blueprint and the information, mm-hmm. They stood in that line. In that line, they were like, no, I can make something happen. Right. So they now put all their focus into how can I get to the front and make this shit happen without having to wait because I got to get this shit now. Right. So when they sell it to you, they're allowing you to not have to stand in the line. Now you could skip the line and get to it a little quicker. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not saying that your experience, you still not pulling up your sleeve to do the hard work. But you could get to it a little simpler because they put in the legwork for you in certain ways.
But a lot of motherfuckers want you to show them where the water is and help you drink.
Yeah, no.
I'm not finna.
Well, that's where a fee comes into place. Well, now
actually, I feel like the fee should come into place at the beginning. So
it should, but everybody doesn't do like people do that. But like me and you, we wouldn't do that. Like if I had an idea about something and I know I'm not going to do it, I will hit up somebody that I know might be interested in it, and I'll give them all of it.
But what if, like, so let's say, for example, let's say you took 2 years to figure out your party planning business, and you failed success along the way.
That's what I had.
Now it's there, you made it, you doing it big, all this, and somebody says, hey, how do I get to where you are? And you tell them the basics, like, just research a few things. But they want to know step by step that's going to take your time to show them. You wouldn't charge for that?
Oh, you would. Well, I would. So that right there, if it's like an individual person, come along for the ride with me. Be my intern. Mm-hmm. Like be my intern. Mm-hmm. Let's make that shit do. But if you just say
shadow me.
Right. But if you're in another state, then okay. Now I got to pay you because maybe we got to do consulting FaceTime calls. That's where the consulting business comes into play. Like I totally agree with that. The whole when people do like master classes, right? They make master classes. Right. They make a fortune from doing master classes and just showing people the blueprint in a whole. I think those are good ideas. Like even with like the I know master classes for like the wigs, right? The installment, like everybody loves like Arrogante. He's one of the best in the game with doing lace front wigs. Mm-hmm. So when he offered his masterclass, females were paying whatever the price was for that masterclass because he had the formula to make your shit look flawless, and they want that, and everybody can't afford him, or just say he's not doing hair, but even if he is doing hair, you may not be able to afford his prices. You could afford his masterclass and take it and do it yourself.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, if I can be shown how to do it, or I figure out how to do it, I'd rather that because I'll never be broke. Like
I'm the same way.
If I have the blueprint, I'll never be broke. I don't want to follow your every step all the way through to where now I'm your employee. Like, no. So
I mean, growing up braiding hair, like braiding individuals growing up. I remember my big cousin used to do it, but as time she used to just flake on me. She would do what stylists do now. The day of I'm supposed to get it done, I'm supposed to be there in an hour. She would, and I'm in elementary school. Do you know how they used to fuck with me? So in elementary school, I was like, fuck that. I'm about to learn how to braid my own hair. I learned how to braid my own hair and I started like 5th grade. And then when I actually start braiding my own hair, I think the first time I did it was like 7th or 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And then I would do it after that. Like I taught one of my friends how to braid too, because you learn a lot of stuff.
YouTube and TikTok University
is the way to go, baby. Okay.
They 101. Okay, YouTube started out YouTube on some shit first, Google, all that. But
yeah.
Now it's TikTok. You can find anything. The way to go.
It's a lot cheaper, and you can find out how to start a business on YouTube too.
Yeah, you can.
With certain stuff. Like I remember when I was starting another one, I was looking at this influencer. She had a viral thing. She made like $1 million in her first like couple of months launching her company, and just how she got started. I think she said she got started with like $500. Listen, you don't need $500 to start your business. You just need to start creating content for whatever your business is. Like make you a little commercial. Like I'm good at marketing and stuff. So like I had created all these campaigns, right? But I had no product because I didn't have a business. I'm a 9-to-5 worker. I'm in corporate. Mm-hmm. But I had all these campaigns because I just kept dreaming about them. Mm-hmm. And I made all these campaigns for somebody's business. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do with these? Gave them to my cousin because she was launching a business. And it was like, I had 4 campaigns ready to go for her. And she was like, oh my God, you're going to have to charge me because I think I'm going to have to come to you every time for my marketing. Yeah, you are going to, I'm going to have to charge you because I just needed to pass it. The thing about me, when something's on my brain, I either have to do it or I have to give it to somebody that I know is going to do it. Because some certain stuff, even though it comes to my mind, I know it's God, but I know I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pour into it.
All the time. Like I think of new, Shark Tank and shit. I know I need to go on there but really I don't want to do it. I just need the idea. So I think there's a place or somewhere where you can sell your idea.
Yeah.
And make it happen. I don't know.
Because I be having amazing ideas.
But I have a lot of ideas. None of y'all business. You gonna pay me for it.
And that's why I will call somebody. That's why I will call if it's an idea that I know will benefit somebody else. I'm gonna call them with it. That's on my gatekeeping.
So my ideas aren't necessarily who I think can use them for their own business. My ideas is like a new product that ain't on the market.
Right. I think about that too.
Like moms or help.
I think about that too.
And I'll be like, but who's gonna make that product? Where do I start? I don't know. So if there's anybody out there that is into investments and Shark Tank stuff, right. I got a lot of ideas here that I'm willing to sell. Okay.
But I feel like my shit be dying down because I don't be having nobody to give it to. So if it's somebody I can give it to, I'm gonna give it to them instantly.
I think we went through. So I'm just grabbing little notes here. Entrepreneur, own boss, make your own schedule, no income cap, no days off, pay your own benefits though.
You can work from anywhere.
You can work from anywhere.
It's a
and
real
then you
one.
Have some remote shit where you can work from anywhere now as a 9-to-5.
Yeah, they do.
But it's iffy.
I would always have my laptop with me. Right. Or I would do the big stuff at home.
Right.
And just be able to do it from my phone.
From the email.
Yeah. And still get my nails done, do what I need to go work out.
A lot of 9-to-5 is not like that. They want you to stay in this one place, maybe with your VPN, gotta be in that certain area. I will say though, as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of worry about the failure of the business.
That is what
a lot of boils down to.
However, I feel like your failures make you better because when you do fail, you're like, okay, maybe I need to rebrand and do this and that.
That's a lot of worry about where it's gonna go.
It is.
You really have to stick with a positive mind.
And because you don't have a guaranteed pay, you don't have guaranteed income.
And I'm not
just because you're entrepreneur.
Yeah, no. Keep where you at. And make time.
And start your own business while you're still working so that when your company, your business is where you need it to be, you can quit your job.
I mean, and that should go without saying. If you're willing to quit some shit, you got unemployment while you doing your business, then hey, do you. But yeah, that should really, you still got kids or you still got a rent.
Right. And entrepreneurship is about taking risks.
Right.
It's taking risks.
Right.
So if you're not really willing to risk it all, willing to risk it because you know that this is going to win. And even if it doesn't win this time, you know this is like, where is that?
You got to really be passionate about what you're doing. Because if you're ready to quit at the first time of failure, at the first time we get hard, you ain't ready. You're not ready.
Right. Because some people may quit their job too soon when they thinking their business is going to go off. But as soon as the business starts going downhill, then all of a sudden they want to quit the business and go back to 9 to 5. It's like, no. Yeah, you gotta revamp, rebrand. But that is not always easy in the entrepreneur space, because if you don't have no money in your account, you like down to your last, that is not it's a.
But in the meantime, I feel like you have things to do before you even start thinking about the money part. Start reading your books and researching and Googling and doing little things that can help you succeed once you start putting your money into it. Like, don't just go and be like, oh, start me a business, quit my job.
Right.
Those things. No, be smart. Work smarter.
I agree. And I think you're in a better position when you are working to start a business, because you still have that guaranteed money, and you can take some of that money and invest into your business, whatever the case may be. I feel like you're in a good position because you still have your 9 to 5 income, and like you said, if you leave your job at the job, you can still do what it do with your own business. It still comes down to time management.
There's been so many times I've worked for free trying to catch up on
all of us. I think
clocked out and still
worked. I think the majority of us have done that. That's why I have like a different respect for like the newer generation, because
don't give up.
They like, bitch,
9 to
5.
Bitch, I work 9 to 10,
and you only paying me what?
Per day doing my content. Look, this generation entrepreneurs, okay?
They're entrepreneurs.
Their money, everything.
So they will have their followers up. They're gonna have their followers. Start them a little fast fashion line. That shit be popping. Popping, okay?
They gonna fucking do something. They gonna start tagging motherfucking people to start being sponsored for them.
YouTubers have made a huge way. Like when I was looking in the comments, like DDG and Hallie, everybody's like, oh, I know Hallie. But I'm like, I know Hallie, but I know DDG too from YouTube. Because he put his whole family on fucking YouTube. I ain't gonna lie, I like that song Moonwalking in Calabasas was my jam, bitch. Not the remix with Blueface, but the regular one, that was my shit, okay? So I'm just saying,
a lot of people that didn't know DDG was on some like, oh, Hallie making him
no, he has. People need to understand, and I'm not saying he that nigga, but I'm like, no, he really did some shit on YouTube. Like he really did some shit on YouTube.
He's still
doing. But I'm like, when YouTube was like kind of different, he really knocked some doors down. He put his fucking family on. Like he was really. I feel like he was really doing the thing.
And the newer one, like Kai Cenat, like.
Oh, he doing his shit.
Doing his thing, okay?
That streamer right there.
And I'm telling you, that's just a big old mansion type where they are. That little room he filming from, streaming from, ain't shit to it but a chair, couple little shits. He having people come through and just chilling.
He did.
Like we do at the wind down. Y'all finna be up in here in a minute playing.
But he investing in himself, and that's what I think we like to do. Hell yeah. Because let me just say, because we are going to have another entrepreneur talk, and we're going to have a guest to talk about her journey and how she became an entrepreneur and her successes, because I mean, we might as well just talk about it. That bitch be booked and busy, okay?
We ain't gonna talk about it.
Like, let me just say that. I'm not gonna tell you, but she be booked and busy. But, when I tell you that bitch's business took off to no other, like
definitely. I feel like I say, this generation and the generation before.
Oh, of course.
It's on some. I'm not working for no fucking pennies. I'm not working for this, and some still have to, but they mindset is different. While they're working, like
that's a long 9 to 5. That's a long 9 to 5.
It's time for a change, and this generation ain't not taking that shit.
And
our parents' generation, they had to do what they had to do.
Of course, well.
Social media.
They were coming out of segregation, all that. So they were like, oh, we got a foot in the door.
Yeah.
So we got that foot in the door. We can work our way up. That's what we're going to do. So like we said, we were raised by like the baby boomer generation where they were coming out of segregation, and they were like, no excuses. That's like millennials. No excuses.
Yeah.
Like explanations don't explain. Excuses don't excuse. Do what the fuck you got to do. and keep it moving. Like, there is no excuse. I don't care if you sick as fucking got a fever. Why didn't you do this?
Oh, but this generation also is lazy and sensitive. Okay, so they're willing to call out with a cough. No, not us.
The sensitivity is the one that gets.
They were still going COVID. Okay, probably our folks, but the young people, where I get paid for having.
Listen, I remember I had to tell a few, like this was years ago, but I had to tell the nurse at my son's school. I said, during my time, they didn't call your parents unless like your arm is hanging out the fucking socket.
Why are you calling me? Because she got a cough.
And so the nurse was calling me nonstop. Oh, he doesn't feel good. Oh, he hurt himself. So I told the nurse, I said, during my generation, unless there was a limb like your arm was hanging by a limb, your parents didn't get called. The nurse would literally give you a fucking ice pack and send your ass back to class. It. You might be able to chill in the school office for maybe 10 minutes.
I can tell by a child talk on the phone if they really need to be
right.
Other than that, your stomach, okay, lay down for a little bit. The ice pack, the water, what? I didn't get picked up from school.
I didn't get picked up. Listen, I have an embarrassing story that I will tell. In second grade, okay, my teacher would not let me go to the bathroom. She was letting, it's like we were going to, I think, art class. So she was letting everybody go by row. And I told her, I have to pee so bad. Can I please go? She told me no. Bitch, a nigga peed on herself in her seat. Second grade. I think you're like, what, 7, 8?
To somebody in my class.
So fucking embarrassing. Nobody was making fun of me though, because everybody felt bad because they saw, everybody saw me. Yeah, I know they was, but not mine. Like they were making fun of me because everybody knew I had to pee and she wouldn't let me go. So everybody felt bad and everybody was mad at her. Oh, so they called my mama because I now peed in my chair. I won't, and I'm not getting up because I'm so embarrassed. I stayed, I just want to cry now. I stayed in that chair until my mom came up to the school to get me. Do you know, my mama did not pick me up. She took me to the bath. I went to the bathroom at the school. She locked the door. My mom had a towel, washcloth, soap. My mama washed me up, changed my clothes, and she was like, you walk back up in there with your head held high. Mm-hmm. I'm about to talk to the teacher. So she let the teacher know. Mm-hmm. I already instructed my daughter, if she has to pee, she needs to run out that classroom. If you told her no, she needs to go to the bathroom anyway, and then you could deal with me. Because my mom was like, how dare you tell my daughter she can't use the bathroom? My mom lit into that motherfucking teacher. Because how you going to tell? I'm 7. I think I got to pee.
Girl, the teachers do that
all the time. I told Miles that. So for my son, I told him a long time ago because I had experienced that. I said, if a teacher ever tells you that you can't use the bathroom, I need you to walk out that classroom and go to the bathroom anyway. Mm. And then tell her to holler at me. Cause holler at me, like them teachers are like, listen, they tried to already kick my son out of Catholic school because I cussed out the vice principal years ago. They was already trying to kick him out because here's the thing, like one thing that vice principal I realized, she really was good, but she didn't have the people skills to deal with the people. Mm-hmm. But she's the one that ran everything. Mm-hmm. But who the fuck you talking to like that?
For real.
Like I remember I told her.
That's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother subject. We're gonna talk about that too. And that is what it is.
Our principals and they are this and that.
And you know what I told her? You know what I told her? I said, you need to save that energy for these kids. Because my grown ass don't give a damn. And I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And I said, and you have an amazing day. And I kept it moving because I'm like, who you talking to like that?
I think they're so used to being around kids.
They are. They do. And I get it. I know some teachers be like, oh, the parents came up here. That's not what this is. It's when the fucking principal, vice principal think they going to talk to you any kind of way.
Yeah.
And think that you're going to sit there and be like a student and be like, okay.
And we're not going to say just because they handle kids. No, sometimes it's because you're black and they think that you're going to be talked to like it.
So that was the issue with that vice principal.
No, bitch, let me. Yep. This energy I'm giving right now, they don't get that. I'm going to cut your ass out with no curse words. I'm going to come real professional ghetto. If that's a thing, I just made it one.
No, it is.
And I'm going to cut your ass out so smooth and so cool, bitch. You ain't the only one know how to write an email and a letter and all of that.
Thank you.
Bitch. Girl, they be coming at you kind of way.
They do.
We're black women.
and they feel like you're a single, or even if you're not single, you black, you uneducated, you don't know.
Single or not, yep. They just think that you're very uneducated.
Even the priest, I remember I had to have a fucking sit down with the priest, the principal, the vice principal, and I remember the priest was saying something, so I let him finish, and I said, you don't have to call me a nigger, hard ER. Because they not black. You don't have to call me a nigger for me to feel that energy. I said, do I need to repeat myself? And I'll repeat it. Do I need to, you don't have to call me a nigger for me to feel that energy. He said, I got it. Yeah, then shut your ass up. Yeah, and again, he wasn't black. He was a Latino man. I'm sorry. I love my brown brothers and sisters, but the ones that think they are white, you are not white. He was one of them Latinos that thought he was a white man.
I think that's all I have on like entrepreneurship versus employee 9 to 5. Like, yeah, I pretty much feel like, so I can't give advice. I've been never and am on both spectrums. Mm-hmm. And I will say though that you give a lot of time to somebody else's business when you're 9 to 5. You're making the CEO richer, and you just really need to think of a plan and move forward with it. I don't give a fuck what it is. If it's content, if it's you want to you want to write a book, go ahead. Everything, there is no excuse. I wouldn't give a fuck if you ain't got a car or none of that. You have internet, but then we still got libraries. Everything can be researched. Like, if you want to know how to write a book, where to publish it, how to publish it. Hell yeah. Everything is online. Yeah, you don't need no typewriter. Everything is online. They was giving out free laptops. Quit playing. Yep. There's plenty of resources. Plenty. And you don't even need a laptop. You just need your damn phone. Right in the notes section. Like, if you, I'm a ex Android. I love my Galaxy. I would go back in a heartbeat. But I've been an iPhone user for like the last 3 years. But I'm just saying, like, you could type in the notes and create a whole business plan. There's no excuses for anything. I wouldn't even fuck if it was pen and paper. Write a book. Because I be writing on with pen and paper too. Yeah. So, yep, absolutely. I know there's a lot of, and I've been in that position, there's so much information that you don't know where to start. Or there's so much that you feel like to do that you don't know where to start. Absolutely. Small business like resource centers that help you with those things and those resources, and they're free. There are people that are accessible that are in that industry that you could actually and that don't gatekeep. That you could intern for, work under, have them be your mentor. It's like, all about this. Your mouthpiece gotta be on something. Because you know what you do. Honestly, it is really like, we know this, and we knew this forever. It is not what you know; it's who you know. It's who you know, and then and it's how you sell when you know something and you get in. Okay, yeah, you could talk up. You could now introduce what you do know, right? So you can keep your spot up in there. Right. But I'm like, getting in, it's really who you know and making those connections. Because a lot of the times, the job or even the whatever you want, they train you, so you can really get up. Listen, I've been hired before on personality, and they told me, we'll train you for the rest. I've been a bartender before. I didn't know how to bartend. They hired me on personality. I remember that. And they taught me everything. So now I know how to. That's because you're real personable. So they know you can connect to them people, to the people and make them spend more money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, so it depends on what you want to do and sell yourself. Absolutely. Because they're going to train you how they want to. However, sometimes they want you not to come in with what you know. They want to train you their way. Absolutely. So, let me tell you something. This is a little tippy tip because I wanted to be I wanted to help y'all with resumes once upon a time. This is a little tippy tip. We need to do a thing on resumes. Because everybody doesn't want to be entrepreneurs. Some people just want to work their way up. And I don't think anything's wrong with that either. Take the position that you are looking for. Put some of that shit on your resume. I don't give a damn if it's. Let me tell you something. Have you ever mopped your? So let's say you want to be a janitor. Have you ever mopped your kitchen? You got skills. That's what I be saying too. And make now shit sound right with with AI, chat, GBT, whatever, you can put anything. Like, there's no excuse. Resume, how to be whatever. Blank. There is no excuse, basically.
and to do, because it's something out there. Now, when we was growing up, like it was different because Google was just kind of popping off, and we didn't even have Google. And I feel like Google didn't come about till like
AIs is writing your business plans, is writing your resumes, is writing your posts.
Bitch, I put that in. How can Satan stop you from accomplishing your goals?
What the fuck did it say?
It said he'll create self-doubt. All the stuff. That's why I'm like, no, there's no excuse to be where you want to be. Because I feel like some people that work corporate 9 to 5, that's where they want to be. And I feel like, yeah, do what you do. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, I feel like there's enough money for all of us to make it. And I feel like if you're consistent and do what you need to do, you can make shit work. I just feel like don't compare your journey to the next person's journey.
And don't think not to go forward with it because there's a billion other ones. Let's take hair products. It's a billion hair products.
Hair products.
Who gives a damn? Do yours.
What's the one they always use? They always use bread. There's so many different brands of bread.
There's so many different cupcakes. If you want to be a cupcake, there's so many different cupcakes. Who gives a fuck? Go ahead and start yours too. Why you can't be on the boat?
And people be like, "Oh, I gotta find my niche." You don't let you finding your niche stop you. You may not find your niche in the beginning. You may just be going into it, and a lot of the times, what people don't like or understand, you gotta fail in order to win. Sometimes, because when you fail, that's when
the motherfucking light bulb.
Yeah, that's either where you go towards it or you retreat from it. When you fail, you either rebrand, refigure stuff out, or you're like, you know what? This ain't for me. I'm better off as a 9 to 5. And some people, it's not like, okay, I'm not scared, but I know I'm not willing to take these risks, and I have it good here with this 9 to 5 and everything guaranteed. I'm gonna stick here.
I think that's still a little fear though.
That is fear. However, that works for them. That works for them. But if you're really right, but if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, there's no. I feel like there's no comfortability in being an entrepreneur. It's all risk until you make it to that certain level. Yeah. And even stuff can be risky, but when you make it to a certain level, you have the assets to cover, you know what I mean? So you're not tripping as much.
And it may be a feeling of comfortable when you start being entrepreneur. Even though you're nervous, you're fearful, you're taking a risk, you feel some type of ownership. Like, shit, I started step 1 and 2 at least, so you can still be comfortable, and you know you got your 9 to 5, so you get to pay your bills. So it's all about, like, really, to me, the word that sticks out is consistency.
Oh, that's for sure.
Just be consistent.
That's no the best.
If you fail,
consistency.
You only
always.
A failure if you stay down. So if you fail and you don't get back up, then you're a failure. If you get back up, try.
I always go by. I think Beyonce says she gives herself 48 hours to go through something and get over it. A lot of the times that might not be like normal because you got to grieve something. But I'm like, no. If grieving something stops you from what you can't dwell in it, because if you can't, the thing that I've realized as I've gotten older, I'm not going to dwell on the things that I can't change. Yeah. I'm not going to focus on stuff that I can't change. It is what it is.
I'm all about the solution.
Right. I want to skip all that bullshit and let's just go to the solution. Yeah. This is the problem. I'm not focusing on the problem, because if I focus on the problem, that is where my business is going to be getting in.
That's where I'm going to stop. Exactly.
So I'm going to the solution. That's why I love Beyonce's. And a lot of business owners are a solution to a fucking problem that may not have been resolved in certain ways.
Yeah.
So
I think that if you have an idea and you feel like, oh, that idea is out there already, think of like eyebrows, for example, a lash tech or something. Everybody don't do eyebrows the same, baby. So you need to be really comfortable and very sure with your craft or your talent, because I'm going to go to this person over this person. They could be right next door to each other because this person is personable.
Absolutely.
This person, they skill is bomb.
That's why I like our person that we're gonna have on, because she's very personable. Like, I always think about, damn, I feel like I've known you a way longer than what I've known you.
All in my ass.
Right, all in my ass. I feel like I've known you for so long. Like, yeah,
you have to be just very. You have to own your shit. You got to be very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Just sure about what you want to do. And if you know you bomb at it, even though deep down you may feel like you need some work, but if you walk around like I'm this bitch, I'm the shit, and what I do is the shit, it's gonna come off like that. And I tell my little cousins and different like younger people like, or I have told, if you walk around every day and you talking down on yourself, that's what the fuck you putting into the universe, and that's what you gonna feel like.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow waking up. But if you wake up like, okay, let me brush this shit off. I'm that this and I'm that. That's how you gonna feel. You gonna basically make the rest of your day like that.
Absolutely. So even your business, you set the tone for your business. Yeah. So if it's you've had a bad day because maybe something didn't go right with this, but that's that day. So you got
don't bring that shit.
Don't bring that to the next day, because the next day now is brand new. We start fresh. We get it going. And that's the mentality that I know I have for my business. I know for sure you had that for your business. Yeah. And again, like, I feel like I had the ability to make my business really pop off back when I was starting it. However, I think I got pregnant in the time that I was doing it. So then my mind started going, oh my God, I need guarantees. I need this and that. But I'm like, yeah, you may not need guarantees, but I feel like if I would have just stepped out on faith and had the risk, I feel like I would have been in a different position that I'm in today. I know I'm exactly where God wants me to be, so I'm not going to say that.
When you get like, that's different. Like, your focus is so totally somewhere else now.
Oh my God!
So it's kind of like, okay, like, but yeah, same. I think it's a reason and a season for everything.
Absolutely.
Like, some people, I wasn't meant to start a business, whatever, 2015 or something, but 2025 you are. You learned a whole lot. You've been through a whole lot of shit. You got more to bring to your business.
Listen, this is the year that if you were scared or thinking about starting a business, start your business, because I'm not talking, because if you support Trump, you support him. But the executive orders he's already been signing and stuff, it does affect us as people of color. Even though I don't consider myself a person of color, I am Black. Okay, but I'm just saying it affects us as people of color and minorities. So I'm like, if you were thinking about starting that business, this is the prime time to start that fucking business.
And I feel like all the people that started during the pandemic,
yes,
big time starting businesses.
Do you know how people that really took it seriously, like, they really, it's so many successful stories about people that started their business during the pandemic and how amazing it was. I was fortunate enough to have a corporate 9-to-5 job, that our corporate 9-to-5 job is skyrocketed at that time, because again, I was in the mortgage business, the rates dropped, so our business like took off. So even if I wanted to think about another business, I didn't have the time. I would be working, and I was paid very, like, that was the time that I was balling. Like, sometimes I'll be working 17 hours, but my paycheck was so be worth the 17 hours I done put in for the day. Because a lot of the time I didn't sleep. I might sleep 2 or 3 hours because we in the pandemic. What else can you do?
Ain't nothing much
I can't leave the house like that. So yeah, for sure.
I agree. I
for sure.
Listen, I'm gonna say about this time or any other time, just start. Can't start without starting. I don't give a fuck if it's some notes. Like, just start something. Like, I know a lot of people that want to talk about starting something, or they have an idea that they've had for years, and it just never takes off, and it never. And I'm gonna tell you, as you guys know, I know you know, we only get this one life. You ain't gonna be able to start it again in 100 years. Absolutely. Because that's it.
Can I just give you, while we're here, I'm gonna give her flowers, because let me just tell you about this bitch. This hustling ass, and that's that LA probably in her. But this bitch is a hustler. Like, When I tell you she will start a business so fast, make her money from it, and be like, dip, I don't want that shit, dip.
I thought about it.
But no, you really, one thing I love and admire about you, you are quick to start you a fucking business. If you want, like, the thing about you, like, I know you have your travel, which we're going to talk about because I want to talk to you about a family thing in a couple years. So, but no, like your travel, that's like a long-term thing. I've seen you start like little short businesses to make your money from, and you be out. But one thing about you, you like, I'm not about to let no 9 to 5 define me. You will create a little short-term thing, get your money, and get the fuck out and put it in there.
Even that is that my mind, the way my mind is set up, I overanalyze everything.
You do.
So I'm just.
But you're so good. Y'all don't even understand her Aries ass. This is a true blue Aries. Like, when I say you are a hustler, Ross the boss, nigga is a hustler. Like, you don't ever do funny, bunny business. You always make connections. You do what you need to do. You finish it out. Right.
Because let me tell you
like,
something.
I've known this nigga.
Mindset. It's not the LA mindset. Okay. It's the black women in my
family
mindset.
It
and
is.
Let me tell and friends.
In LA. I'm gonna put that in there too. Cause this nigga from LA.
Hawaii.
Cause I'm like high school.
Since 20 years old.
Yeah.
I've always felt that I've seen people work into retirement and then pass away. Or I felt like people worked their ass off and still not obtain the things that they really even had goals for.
Absolutely.
So I feel like I have always said, probably since maybe 2021, I have always started to say, I cannot give more of my time to a job or more of my time to bullshit, whatever, than I give myself.
Absolutely.
Like, so I've always had this thing in my head, like, ain't no way in hell I can just live to pay bills and die. Like, that has been my thing for the past maybe 20 years. Like, I mean, 10 years, I'm 21.
That's a lot of Americans.
I do not, and that's a lot of people, but
that's a lot of people.
Unless you, like, really step out and make sure that that does not happen. I am not. And I don't want to. A lot of things gotta be routine, right?
Yeah.
You gotta wake up in the morning and go ahead and take care of your kids to school or whatever and pay these bills. A lot of things is routine and you can't help it. Right. But if you starting to see yourself in a routine that you waking up, you going to this job, you're not giving yourself now time for your health or maybe for your business. Absolutely. For your friends, for your family. Absolutely. You need to redo because that job, when you pass, is gonna send a bouquet of flowers, and that's it. While your family up here doing the real morning. So that's where I get that, like, let me hustle in different ways to make some dough or make some money or whatever. If I feel like it ain't my passion, I'm done with it. I'm not finna. I don't. Who wants to do something every fucking day of their life till they're retirement age that they don't even fucking love? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that have to.
But when I say that, when I was saying you'll put enough into that business that you're like, yeah, I'm done with that, and I'm on to the next thing. And you make like I said, you make your money from that business, and you move on to
don't like to stay in one fucking place.
Oh, I know.
Bored.
Yep.
We'll talk about astrology one day.
Oh, we definitely need to.
But we get fucking bored in one place. They're more adventurous. They don't want to fucking just stick in one fucking place.
Yeah, and I was surrounded by Aries. Like, my father was an Aries. My father was an entrepreneur. Like, growing up, my dad did work for a company. And I remember in high school, my dad started working for himself.
Yeah, it depends on what type of person you are. Like, I'm not content with a routine in every aspect of my life. Some of it gotta be routine, great. I'm not content with that. Like, I be going crazy. Like, okay, new idea, new whatever, place to travel, new fucking hangout spot with friends. I just can't. I don't want to be every day. Or even not maybe a new business, maybe on some like podcast.
Right. No, I'm just saying. Time for that. Even though, like I said, your business may not be long term, but you done started some new shit, and now you gonna put the word of mouth out and get it out.
But that's a pro and a con because, like, some things that you want to be able to stick with. Like, if you start something and don't finish it, or you start something and keep hopping and hopping and hopping, that's not really a stable thing.
For me, I just know my nigga's a hustler. I say that to say my nigga gonna hustle. Like you will never put my bitch in a box or put her against in a corner. No, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm talking about you. You would. Nobody could ever put you in a corner or put you in a box and think you're not gonna figure your way out of that shit and make some money while you doing it because you've proven that is what you do. Like you definitely can do that. I know that's you. That's the Aries in you. That's the LA in you. That's the black woman in you. That's all of it. But like, that's what you do. And I'm gonna give my nigga her flowers because.
Thank you. Let me smell them.
Cheers, because
that's gonna bring us to our guest or the next time because everybody that actually made it or did something didn't quit. You know, you gonna tell your kids that. You're gonna tell your little sisters that. You're gonna tell somebody that you really want to see make it. You're gonna tell them, don't give up when you fail. Like that's a part of making it. That's a part of succeeding. You're gonna fail maybe 2, 3, 4 times, and if you give up, then you're a failure. But if you get up, keep it going. You just learned something. You just learned what not to do.
And that's consistency that you was talking about. Yes. Because it's definitely about being consistent.
It's about being consistent. I'm sorry. Like with anything. With anything. What it is. If you a stripper, I bet you better make it on time and get you some new outfits.
Okay.
And be consistent.
Okay. The fuck?
I'm serious.
Because I'm like, no, seriously, being a stripper, you know, I watched that TikTok and that shit. That shit ain't easy. People think you just got to get up in there and like, no. I feel like this entrepreneur thing, I feel like we need to make it into kind of like a little series. Like, you know, invite other entrepreneurs. Like, I just feel like entrepreneur talk should just be right. Even if you work corporate 9 to 5, that's a discussion too. Yeah. And you're successful and you love it and you wouldn't trade it for anything. Yeah. That's another talk too. And you know what works for you. I agree. Look, I'm a cheers her while she's drinking. I only have a sip, so I gotta. My bad.
Swirling and twirling.
Wait.
Well, that was a quick hold on.
That was amazing. So the show is over because I'm done.
Cheers.